Calvin Harris, My Way.
Whoopsies. Didn't mean to do that. Here comes the new music.
You cannot be serious!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm joined by my two favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Max.
Hello.
And Terry Diamantis.
Hello.
How you doing, Terry?
Pretty good. How about you?
I am well. Jen, how are you?
Oh, I'm very well.
What do you think of the new intro music? Good, bad?
I feel like I'm in a techno house. It's okay.
I told you it was going to be dancey. I did tell you.
Yes, you did.
You're going to have to, the people out in chat are going to have to tell me if they think it sucks or think it's okay or whatever. I did manage to save You Cannot Be Serious. I think I deserve kudos for that.
That's mandatory. And all intro songs for this stream.
From now on. That's right. Even if this fails and everyone hates it and I have to come up with something new or go back to the original one, You Cannot Be Serious will always be with us. Well, it will always be with us in our hearts.
If people complain about the new song, our response should be, you cannot be serious.
If everyone hates the new song, I will definitely adopt it for the show. If they hate it.
Of course. Now, Keith says it's cool, so, that's one vote of support.
Got one. I got one.
Yeah.
It is shorter than the original one too, so we get a chance to talk without having music in the background.
Sure.
So there's that. And no one else sing anything because they all hate it.
Mr. Yes said it sounds decent. So there you go.
Dancey, get your ass moving. I try not to dance in my chair because I like that song a lot.
Yeah, fair enough.
It is public domain, so I don't have to worry about paying for it.
And Gunsky hates the new song, so we
definitely got to use it now. I was thinking the same thing. I guess we should probably say hello to everybody in chat, even though we've been talking to them the entire time.
Yeah. Okay, so over on the Rumble, we have Mr. Yes, we have Jack Gunsky, we have Kivadan. I think, is that everyone? Did anyone else join towards the end? Lots of scrolling because there was lots of conversation.
Menace of the Highway Keeper Dam.
Yeah. I think that might be everyone. Yeah. If I missed you, let me know. But yeah, I think I got everyone.
Jen?
Alrighty. Well, we start with Hammer. Hello.
Hello.
And Mr. Yes, hello. And Keeverdam, hello. And Terry, hi.
That's me.
Yee. Hey, we got Jack. Hi, Jack. He hates the new song. Why are you going to be a party pooper?
I'm doing the right thing. He hates it. Do you want to go over topics?
Yeah, sure.
I honestly would rather get back to talking about copyrights, but I'll go over them briefly.
And Kevadan wants to know whose voice is the You Cannot Be Serious.
That's me. You didn't know that?
I didn't recognize that it was you shouting.
It's not really me. I'm just kidding. I had no idea. It came with the song.
Okay.
But I have a tool that can remove vocals from music and music from vocals. So I was able to pull that vocal out. So I only put down, there's so many things in the news, but it's all political. So I didn't want to have a list of all the news that we can cover and have it just be all Trump this, Trump that, judges this, judges. So I figured I would just stick to the most basic news. Val Kilmer has passed, and we can get into that because I love Val Kilmer. And then finally,
unless he was playing an April Fool's joke on all of us.
Yeah, it was April 1st. And then Lawfare is yet another judge telling Trump he can't do his job. So, and there's more about that too, because before we went to air, Democrats filed a lawsuit against Trump as well. That just happened today. So a lot of lawfare going on.
I would laugh so hard if Val Kilmer posted on Twitter, "Oh my God, if I could have seen the looks on your faces."
Well, you'd have to type it because he couldn't say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to get back to the deal with copyright and the AI, I love talking about AI because
It's
I think there's a
good
lot of
technology. I don't hate it. I
yeah.
dislike seeing legitimate thieves. And
Yeah.
like lately it has to do with a big anime artist. I'm not good at pronouncing his name, but he's the guy who did the Spirit Away and Princess Mononoke series.
Mhm.
He's actually a really big artist in Japan. It's one of those things that when you're a big anime fan, you know who his art is, even if you
Mhm.
haven't watched his stuff.
I'm just going to call him Kawasaki Mitsubishi.
You are good enough. You're probably better at saying their names than I am, but
Well, I've got no idea what his name is. Those are just car brands.
it's just he is a really phenomenal artist. And it started with somebody just using it to make an avatar. If it was just limited to like it was just an avatar of his face, if it was just limited to that, I wouldn't have an issue with it because that's just a fan being a fan. It's I saw people using it to make historical documents. I saw people using it for medical stuff. I'm like, none of you are paying him for this art. And
I would say as long as it's only the same style, like if it's taking his exact images, then that's bad. But if it's just in the style of, then I don't have a problem with it.
It's
I'd
character.
be hard pressed to tell it apart. For me, one type of art, Japanese art, is basically the same as every Japanese art.
It makes you think that he's been a part of the production. That's the problem. Like it is so much his style when you're looking at it that you think that his studio has taken part in making.
No. What I think the solution to that is have it so that the AI has to put a watermark. So like if you make an image in Grok, it should have to have the word Grok as a watermark on the image. So that
it does.
Everyone, yeah, but that's the solution. That way, oh, this is a Grok image. This isn't a Kawasaki Mitsubishi image. This is a
that I would be okay with. I would be a little bit more okay with because I don't like that is a little bit of a lot to do with art. There is consent to what you're asking me to make something for. If I don't understand something, I might say no because I don't understand what you're asking for.
Yeah,
like it's my name on it.
If you tell ChatGPT, make me an image in the style of Kawasaki Mitsubishi, then I don't have a problem with it. If you take one of his images and then pass it off as your own, then obviously that's totally different.
There is also like making this, like I said, like if you have the watermark claiming it's not, they have no connection to it. I agree with that too because it is the little legal bits that I'm like.
No, I agree that it's bad to pass someone else's work off as your own. That I agree with. But I'm saying if it's just in the style of, like if I
it's saying that. It's like I said, like it's saying that. Like, it's in the style of this person has nothing to do with this project.
But if I use Grok to make an image in the style of Leonardo da Vinci, that's different from I painted the Mona Lisa. Look, here's my picture of the Mona Lisa that I did. Like, obviously, those are two very different things.
Especially if you try to sell it.
And I wouldn't. Exactly. And it's not like I haven't seen people do that before for commercials where it was a pun off of the art. Like I'm not so fussy that I don't understand a joke or a play off of a joke.
Right.
It is like I said. It's just little things of legal that where I'm like, don't do a full on project making it look like I was a part of your project unless I was actually part of your project. If you're just using my style and you're declaring that that's just what you're done. Okay.
I think obviously you should have a distinction so that people don't make that mistake. Like obviously, if you're trying to cash in on someone else's reputation by pretending that they're directly involved in something that they're not, that's bad. But just using
that's a lawsuit. That's what that is.
Yeah, because it's false advertising. It's implying that this really famous anime artist is involved with your project, and that is advertising. That'll bring in a bunch of people who.
Yes, but if you've got a disclaimer saying all images were made with Midjourney in the style of Kawasaki Mitsubishi, No direct involvement.
Yeah.
Was
Legal
had.
notice.
Yeah. I've got no problem with it then.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have a solution to this. It is legal.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, so you know, if somebody starts doing that kind of stuff, take them to court. I mean, America is
Right to court.
what the most litigious country in the planet.
Yeah. No, I've got no problem with people suing over that stuff. I'm just saying that
It's not just art either. As far as a drawn image, how many times have you seen lawsuits for music?
Oh yeah, one of my favorite is that Men at Work got sued.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
There's like a 2-second clip of Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree in Land Down Under, and the people who own the rights to Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree sued and won, because that is indeed 2 seconds of that song that they didn't license. It's not even 2 seconds, it's more like one. It's like that's it. That's the entire sample from Kookaburra Sits in the Old Gum Tree.
It's just one of those things with art, like drawings is different from music too, but like it always comes back to your reputation just as much as like whether or not you're making a living off of it. Like, yes, the living part is important. You need to eat and have a home, but a lot of artists, they work based off of their reputation. You know, it means a lot. It is an advertisement to. There is a reason why a Gucci bag has a Gucci label on it.
Right.
You know, that label means a lot to that brand. It is their reputation. It can make and break them a lot. And that's true for artists. So that's why I say the consent thing is really kind of important. In the Japanese, that's definitely a no joke. And I don't agree with some of the, like sometimes they take things a little too far, but I agree with why they do it, because that reputation trickles down to their family.
Actually, you just gave me a great idea. I'm going to tell Grok, draw me a foot avatar in the style of Kefki and see what it draws.
It would be furry, but if you want one,
just to see what it thinks in the style of Kefki. Because, like, obviously, my actual avatar is drawn by Kefki.
They're just going to tell you that I don't know any Kefki.
No, but I would no. I would use her Twitter handle. I would say in the style of @Kefki2.
Well,
so I will try that.
You might get your own avatar back.
Maybe that's what I'm trying to find out.
Wouldn't that be something?
See, now I want to do it. Probably not the same way that you're going to, but I want to do it. I don't know if I can.
You and I both have Kefki drawn, and Jen's drawn her own, so that would be interesting to ask Grok to give you a picture of your own art and see what it would do. Draw me a picture of how I would draw it. The guy's like, what? You just draw it yourself.
Okay, it's thinking. It's thinking. It's drawing something, and it is. It's got ears, so it can't be a foot. Oh, it just misunderstood. It's drawing an avatar of Kefki. But the foot is prominent. Like it's Kefki, but sticking her foot into the camera. So not quite what I asked for, but that's why AI is still
stupid.
You know, learning.
Just think, this AI can drive a car. It can't get a foot right, but it can drive a car.
Well, no, it drew the foot fine. I'm just saying it didn't draw what I told it to. I said, draw me an avatar of a foot in the style of Kefki.
It was able to drive the car just fine, right into a tree. It drove just fine right into a tree. It
drew more or less a picture of Kefki sticking her foot into the camera. So not quite what I asked.
Has Kefki ever been on camera?
Don't think so.
She usually uses her ferret avatar, but that's what I was going to go for, like a mixture of her ferret avatar and your foot.
Yeah. When I say it's a picture of Kefki, I mean a picture of her ferret persona, not her actual face. Because I don't think she's ever put her face on Twitter, so it doesn't know what she looks like.
if I tell it to draw a picture of my avatar and I use any kind of modification, it puts somebody inside that hoodie.
So I am going to take Kivadan's advice. She says specify Monty Python foot. So I will do that. I will see if I specify that it's a Monty Python foot. Maybe that will give me a better.
I told Grok to draw a picture of my girlfriend. I didn't tell. I just said, draw a picture of my girlfriend. That's all I said. And I put a girl inside my hoodie. Flag behind her and everything. And the funny thing was, she kind of looked like my girlfriend. If I were to take my girlfriend and actually put her in a hoodie, it was pretty close.
Okay.
But my girlfriend has no internet presence at all. She has nothing.
That's probably best for her sanity.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's thinking. It does look like it's still misunderstood quite badly, the instructions.
Garbage in,
now
garbage out.
Now it is a picture of a foot with Kefki's face, like the Kefki ferret face on the ball of the foot.
Grok's
it's
terrible.
Still not right, but it's learning, I guess.
It's terrible. Like I said, it can't do an enterprise. I mean, I could do that.
No. But I think after the stream, I should share those on Twitter so that people can see the monstrosities that it created.
You might want to talk to Kefki first.
Well, no, I'm going to explain that it's an AI image. I'm going to say, I told Grok to make this image with this prompt, and this is how badly it misunderstood.
I have an unusual, well, maybe it's not so unusual, but I have a singular take on AI that I don't think anyone else follows along the same way. I just don't see it as the world ender that everyone makes it out to be.
Not at all. No, not in the slightest.
Yeah. It will make things easier on a lot of us, and it might have an impact on the economy and politics and stuff like that, technology. But I remember when everyone was all Twitter, hint, hint, about Y2K. Remember how Y2K was going to end the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. No, I think this is just technology making certain things obsolete. So yeah, if you're a mediocre artist, you're going to have a harder time selling your art because people will just get AI for free. But I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Just keep practicing your art until it's good enough that you can sell it, because people will want the human touch, because there's only so much AI can do. It can't do anything creative or new. So if people want that, they'll pay an actual artist who's good.
Yeah.
At best, I would say artists are probably at risk of this AI having new people to the field not understanding actual legal laws.
Sure.
And I think that's a lot of what's going on. Like what I saw with the anime artist as an example. Yeah, somebody's going to get their hands slapped, because I think it wasn't just crossing the line. I think they were actually taking a little bit more than just his style.
No. If someone breaks the law, then absolutely sue them. Or if it's an egregious enough offense, like, it's not going to be with AI. But if they do something that warrants arresting them because they don't understand the law, fine. That's teach them the hard way.
It might be like that for the next, like, I could see that being a thing for the next 10 to 15 years as we kind of figure out what is taking and what isn't, because that's going to be, it's always that discussion when it comes to art. They have that discussion all the time because we're always revolutionizing. And even like you see it more in the music sphere, because it's so easy to be like, did you actually rip off this song, or did you pay a guy for their song, and you look back on it and like, yes, you have to you have to tweak with the laws. You end up having people suing each other, and then we figure things out. But artists have always needed to protect themselves. Yes, there are people who will steal your style and then run like they've invented something amazing, and no, you have to protect your stuff. It's why I didn't get into art, because
I think obviously you can remove them, but watermarks go a long way. just because most people won't go to the effort of removing the watermark because most people are just lazy.
Mhm.
Like if you're at the point where you're using someone else's art as your own, you're probably too lazy to remove the watermark as well.
Mhm.
So just watermarking your work goes a long way. And if someone does go to the trouble of removing the watermark, a lot of the time, at least with current technology, you can kind of tell there's kind of like a blur where the watermark was.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're getting better. They're getting better at removing these things, but
watermark.
Yeah, it's further than you
watermark
think
people-
because I actually do this. I have a whole folder on automobiles, actually on Corvettes because I'm an owner, and a lot of them have watermarks. And I found a couple of tools that will make it look like it never existed.
okay.
So
But-
it's gotten better.
But yeah, I do think removing watermarks is a bit dodgy.
Well, it's just for my computer. I'm not trying to sell
No,
it.
no,
or
no, 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 no,
paste
no.
it.
That I don't mean what you're doing. I mean in the context of the overall conversation. I think if you take someone else's image, remove the watermark, and pass it off as your own, that is bad. Don't.
Right.
I do agree that that's a bad thing to do. Don't do that.
Yeah, I take pictures of like there's people who take who have professional pictures of cars in the same year as mine in different colors and stuff like that. And there are different angles. And what I like to do is I like to take them and upscale them. And then because a lot of them are only like 640 by 480, they're kind of small. And I like to upscale them so that they're like 4K.
Right.
And then get rid of all the watermarks and then make it my background on my monitor.
Yeah. Like I don't have a problem with that unless you started selling them. Like if you went onto some art website and said, "Hey, look at this cool art I did," and then just give me, $50 and it's yours.
It's also yet again, artists can hide a watermark in ways that you don't think. Like there's been times where I spelled my whole name out in a picture in the fur, so you didn't see that it was a J here or an E there.
Oh,
it was
right,
part of
right.
the picture.
That's the Homer Simpson's hair thing, where like you can tell Matt Groening drew Homer because the hair on Homer's head is the letters MG. Like the M is his hair and like the G is his ear, and you can tell that Matt Groening drew that version of Homer because it's got MG.
Right.
It is like making locks. You do just get more clever with it. It's just that gets frustrating after a while too. Like it's part of the package. Like you don't when you just don't want people to steal from you and you're like, just pay me for my art. Like
Yeah. No. Like I said, I don't have a problem with using AI to generate something in the style of someone else. Like if I said, draw me an avatar of a hammer in the style of Farzuzmi, then, as long as I'm making it clear that Far didn't actually draw the thing, I'm just using an AI, I don't have a problem with that. But if I took Far's hammer that she drew for Hammer and then said, look what I did, I was like, well, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. But you're not wrong. Like it is like that though, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. I think our standards kind of dropped for a lot of art. Like the Tumblr thing wasn't a joke. Like people were being condescending when they were like, "Oh, Tumblr art, you went with that."
Like if you make bad art, then I've got no problem with people telling you that you made bad art. That's like, okay. Well,
you need
next time make
criticism
better
to get better. Like how are you going to know if you don't have it, right?
And JB in chat says, you know what's dope? Hot Chocolate. They did have some good songs, I will admit. So yeah, no, I like Hot Chocolate. They're not bad.
Where'd that come up?
What's that?
How did that come up?
I don't know. JB just mentioned Hot Chocolate in chat. So I was like, okay, I'll address it.
Sometimes I wish I didn't actually use OBS because I could present my screen now and walk through removing some really challenging watermarks from pictures. And I think it would stun people to see how good it is to be able to remove it because it really looks at what you're erasing around and it rebuilds behind
Okay.
from scratch. It doesn't just like change pixels. It just says, I'm going to take this whole piece out. I'm going to put this piece out in place where, and it fits in like puzzle piece. Perfect.
Well, one of the things I've seen a lot of, especially considering my my tastes on Twitter, shall I say, a lot of adult entertainers will put their watermarks across their tits or on their ass, which is like the bit everyone wants to look at. So to make sure you see it.
That would do it. I have a picture of a Corvette, it's a yellow Corvette, and in the top right corner, it has a logo of the Corvette logo with the flying wings and the 0 around it. And it's on a sunset. It's an absolutely gorgeous image. I haven't gotten around. I downloaded a couple of days ago. I haven't gotten around to massaging it to look the way I want it, to make it a background. But it's not very big. It's a very small picture. But you can upscale it to 4K. I can get rid of that stuff, and it would take me 3 minutes.
Okay.
It wouldn't take me long at all. So it's the technology has got, and this is just tools that you can use on the internet, like web pages. You don't have to even download a program anymore. Like I have like videos from music that I like that Sparkle and Shine song from I can't remember their name now off the top of my head. It was in a very low resolution. You can only get it on Daily Motion, I think, is where I got the video for it, because it was before like MTV. Yeah, it was like before MTV made videos, kind of deal, and all that kind of stuff. So it was like really old technology. And I brought it into not into Photoshop or Premiere or any of the Adobe packages. I just brought it into Resolve, Adobe or DaVinci Resolve, which is a freeware package. And I said, okay, take this video, pull out the audio, the actual song. I have a version of audio for this song that's 320K, you know, like nice and clear and crisp, because the old one was all shitty. So I took the old audio track in, laid the new audio track on top of it in exactly the place where I took the old one out. And then I said, now upscale this to 4K, go. And it took about an hour. And when it came out, it looked like somebody had just completely done the video from scratch, and it sounded fabulous. I was like, that's exactly what I wanted. Didn't upload it anywhere. It's just for me, but it is awesome. Now when I play it, I can actually see the video. It's big enough on my screen. I can actually make it out.
But like,
and that's freeware.
But like, to prove that I'm not, you know, being condemning of something that doesn't affect me, I think if someone invented an AI streamer and people would rather watch that than watch this stream, I would say watch the stream that you want to watch. If as a result of an AI streamer, this stream got 0 viewers ever again, I'd be like, okay, well, obviously we're worse than the AI. That's
nothing
an us
new.
problem. That's an us problem. That's not how dare you watch an AI. That's we need to be better than the AI.
There will be people who complain about it anyway, though.
Of course.
Oh, that's fake. That's AI. You shouldn't get money from that. It's an AI.
It's It's stuff like CEOs from Sweet Baby Inc. I can't remember the bitch's name. I'm not going to pretend like I do.
No, who cares?
But she went on to this rant about how she was being racist. It was her being white people need to use AI to do their art and do their games and stuff. And I think she was basically saying that the people who work for her have to use AI to do that stuff. I'm like, no, you can use it as a tool. I can understand it being a part of your package to advance a little bit quicker, but you should be taking your art from your own art. Like, if you're using, like, say I'm going to pick on Dragon Age, because that was one that came out that was seriously crapped upon. If you're working for that company and that is the game that you are making, yes, you are using those characters. You know, it's going to be based off of those characters. So yes, that's tracing art. That's working for Disney. You were making Mickey Mouse. It's okay. It's okay to make Mickey Mouse if you're working for Disney.
Right. But no, I mean, I honestly, if Ubisoft said, instead of hiring an artist to draw Yasuke, go to Grok, type, draw me a 3D model of Yasuke. We're just going to take that and put it in our game. I would have zero problems with them doing that. I mean, obviously it would suck. The game would be terrible. I mean, the game's already terrible, but if they decided, you know what, we're going to use ChatGPT or Midjourney or some AI to generate our 3D character models. And says, all right, do it. If that's the direction you want to take your game, absolutely feel free to do that. But
I don't think it's a good
problem.
move. I don't
think it's a good idea, but I don't have a problem with them doing it.
It's just you're going to see the drop in quality when they do that, and it's kind of the first thing people noticed with this latest Dragon Age.
Sure.
It's not that you can't use the tool. If you're using the tool to be lazy, it's going to show.
Of course.
The thing where I'm saying, if your job is to draw Mickey, you're drawing Mickey. I don't mind if they end up using AI to draw Mickey, but you should actually know how to draw Mickey. Like, if you can't draw Mickey, don't work for that company.
No. But I would say if Disney hires you as an artist, and instead of drawing Mickey Mouse, you go to Grok and say, draw me an animated Mickey Mouse, and just shove that in, you should be allowed to do that, and then they should be allowed to fire you for doing shitty work.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if the AI comes up with something that's good enough to meet Disney standards,
then I don't mind if they fire you, because then they don't need you anymore.
No. But like, if they hire you as an artist, you don't do anything, you just use the AI, then like they might say, hey, this guy's really good, let's keep him. Like, they don't know you just use the AI. And then you're like, okay, if the AI is giving you something that is justifying, your position, fine. But I think most likely you'll just get fired, because it'll be like, well, this is shit. We'll hire someone that's better.
Well, why don't we look at some of the other topics? We've been on AI for an hour, including Rumble.
Well, the next 6 minutes says Yasuke Simulator is art. I have not played it, but I agree.
More people are playing it.
I have no idea about any of that stuff.
Well, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the game that everyone is getting all upset
Worked up about, yeah.
Yeah. And so someone made a game called Yasuke Simulator called Historically Accurate Games. And it's got Yasuke using machine guns and sports cars and it's making fun because Ubisoft was claiming that Assassin's Creed Shadows was historically accurate. And the reason that the Japanese government got so furious with them is that it's not. And so Historically Accurate Games made Yasuke Simulator to take the piss. Have I seen the opening to Secret Invasion? I don't even know what Secret Invasion is, so no.
It's not just that it's historically inaccurate. They did put maybe a couple things in there that's kind of a little bit gross. I'm not talking about the destruction of the monuments. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to go to somebody else's country and destroy their monuments, but in all honesty, a bunch of clunky foreigners in your you really don't think we're going to run into shit? Of course they are. It's just going to happen in a game. I would forgive that and just ignore it. But it's the part where Yasuke is dateable to Oda's sister.
Yes.
And they're like, that's gross as shit. It's not because he's a black man. It's like, these are living people. They're based off of real people. It's like, can we not think about...
Yeah. No, they did a lot of things that were very distasteful to the Japanese culture. And that's why the Japanese government got so angry. It's like, obviously desecrating the shrines, I can understand why they're upset about that. But as a gamer, I can also understand it's not personal. It's just, this is a game with destructible environments, including shrines. So I don't really have a problem with that. But just the general disrespect of claiming it's historically accurate and then coming up with things that Japanese people find extremely offensive, I think they deserved to cop some flack for that.
Yeah, it's also, the Japanese aren't like, hey, let's talk about sex all the time.
No, they're not.
So the minute you start doing that stuff, they're like, we don't feel comfortable with this,
And Yeah, Mr. Yes is saying in feudal Japan, foreigners weren't allowed to become samurai. Well, exactly. He was not a samurai. He was an assistant or something
A
like that.
retainer, yeah.
Retainer, that's the word. And so by making him a samurai, they are rewriting history, which flies in the face of their historically accurate claim. But also, samurai was a very prestigious thing to the Japanese. And so by claiming that this retainer was actually a samurai, they find that deeply offensive, which I can understand. And Mr. Yes was saying, is Mickey Mouse public domain? I don't believe he is. I believe the original style of Mickey Mouse, the one that you see in Steamboat Willie, that's public domain, but you can't use the modern design of Mickey Mouse. That is still copyrighted.
Even with the Steamboat, like you might have a little bit of leeway. I still wouldn't test the waters with that because they'll find a way with Disney.
No, the day that Steamboat Willie became public domain, a lot of people put Mickey Mouse in all their YouTube videos just to prove a point.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as I can tell, it's completely legal, so long as you're using the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse in your properties.
Yeah, Tears saying Steamboat Willie's Mickey is public domain.
Yeah, that's what I said. And Thierry saying that he was a sideshow attraction, a dancing monkey, referring to Yasuke. I don't know or care about the actual history. I'm just saying that from what I've seen, this is why the Japanese government was so offended. Promoting Yasuke to the prestigious role of samurai, which they take very seriously, obviously upset them because he hadn't earned that position. He had no right to claim it.
It's also a lot of what they have them do. Like, yet again, you can't avoid it in a game. There's going to be people who go around and kill everybody because there's just some people who play games like they're sociopaths.
Sure.
But it is kind of like that with Yasuke. It is kind of a bad look to have a black guy just run around killing all the Japanese people. It looks really shitty on behalf of Ubisoft.
But no, I agree with V when he says that video games are not a Rorschach test. Like, the fact that I'm currently playing Hitman does not mean I want to go out and violently murder a bunch of people in creative and interesting ways. It means I want to play a video game where I can do that, but I'm not going to fly to Paris and drop a chandelier on someone's head just because I saw Agent 47 do it in a Hitman game. It's like, it doesn't say anything about your personality if you enjoy certain content that would be inappropriate to recreate in real life.
It's one of those things where not every game should be watched by everybody because not everybody plays the same.
No. I think if you want your game to be suitable for everybody, it will be suitable for nobody, and that's what's happening. That's why modern games are so shit. Is because they're too afraid to appeal to a niche specific audience. They want everyone to have a bland time instead of a small group of really dedicated fans to love the ever-loving shit out of their game. They don't want that. That's too small of a target audience. They want the entire world is their target audience. And to make something that appeals to everyone, it's not going to appeal to anyone.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's like all movies, not just video games. The same thing happened to Star Trek.
Yep.
When they did Star Trek 2009, the next two movies that came out were designed to appeal to everybody, and they're awful.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. You can't do it.
Yet the one that was about Khan, that spoke directly to the franchise that started all this stuff, was the most successful version movie available. But only people who knew who Khan was made sense of it.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think the ideal thing would be you don't have global appeal, you have targeted appeal. If you say, like, our target audience is teenage boys, then you can make something that teenage boys will absolutely fucking love, but middle-aged housewives will hate. And you have to be okay with middle-aged housewives hating it because they're not your audience. Teenage boys are.
And that's why so many people keep going back to the 80s, because they were already really doing that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's true, the boys shows might have had the odd female character because tomboys exist.
Sure.
But that's not the overall demographic that they were getting. That's just the oddball who had too many brothers who were like, well, this
Yeah.
is what we're watching.
No, but like, obviously you're going to get cross like pollination. There's going to be some middle-aged housewives who happen to also enjoy the thing targeted at teenage boys. Like, how many adult men happen to like My Little Pony for whatever stupid fucking reason?
No, right?
But
Like, what happened there?
the target was little girls. It's just that there was obviously people outside the target audience who also appreciated it.
I prefer Barney.
Sure, but if you set out to make My Little Pony that appeals to middle-aged men, then the actual target audience will leave.
And the girls who do like it, none of them like the changes. None of them. Nobody that I know that's female who likes any of these franchises has ever really been like, oh, this makes me feel like I'm a part of something. It actually makes you feel like you're less a part of something, because you're like, oh, you kind of just destroyed the one thing I had in common with my male friends.
Yeah,
Like-
of course.
Kira Dame's reminding us that we have topics to cover tonight.
Yeah, we
Yes,
do.
yes.
I feel bad about the one. I didn't even go onto Twitter this morning. I heard that and was like, oh, instant bummer.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was a favorite of mine too.
No, Val is obviously a reference to the Steve Winwood song Valerie.
Yes.
It's a catchy song. I'm not sure what specifically we need to discuss about it, but no, I do like Valerie by Steve Winwood. So good choice, Mr. Howard.
We knew that Kilmer was in trouble because he had throat cancer and just barely made it through Top Gun Maverick. And that was the last movie he
That'll
did.
kill you. That'll do it.
65, so 3 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
Favorite movie? You had to pick one?
I haven't watched a lot of movies, so I
wouldn't
say-
watch the remake of the Netflix. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't get Netflix anyway, but
No.
I refused because I know that they couldn't get Val, but I was like, Willow without Val Kilmer is not Willow.
No, I would say that Batman movie that he was in, because I don't even remember which one he was in.
Batman Forever.
That's the one.
With
So
Jim Carrey.
I'll say that one because I don't know a lot of Val Kilmer movies off the top of my head, and I know he played Batman at one point. So Batman Forever. There you go.
Okay, that's legit. Jen, do you have a favorite?
I just said Willow.
Oh, Willow is your favorite. Okay. I think for me it'd probably be Tombstone, with the
Okay.
Top Gun franchise pretty close. Iceman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tombstone's him playing Doc Holliday. Wow,
Yeah,
Johnny.
I've seen
He
I've
looked
seen
so
the
amazing in
clips
that,
on,
yeah.
Twitter.
He had so many great lines. And, wow, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Yeah, I haven't seen Tombstone, but
Great
I have
line.
seen on Twitter people posting pictures of Val Kilmer from that movie.
Yeah, I mean, you heard me tell you, this movie's great. This movie's great. This movie's great. If I had to give you one movie to watch, you're ever going to watch one movie, it would be Tombstone. It is such a great movie.
The six in chat is saying Spartan, which I'm assuming is a movie. Val
Spartan's a good
Kilmer was in.
movie. Yeah.
Gunsky says Real Genius.
Real
I don't know if
Genius?
he's talking about me or if he's talking about a movie that Val Kilmer was in.
So movies that he's famous for: The Saint,
Okay.
Batman Forever, Tombstone, The Doors.
I haven't seen The Doors, but I did know that he was in it.
Yeah, Top Secret, Real Genius.
I haven't seen Top Secret, but that's
Yeah.
another one I know of.
Yeah, Real Genius, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And
Yeah, I have seen that because of the movie nights we were doing.
Robert Downey
at
Jr.
movie-
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Also, there was a redheaded chick in it. She's topless in the movie.
I like it already.
And then Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick too, playing Iceman.
Green Badger says Heat gets an honorable mention.
Heat, yeah, he was in Heat.
I think I've seen Heat once, and I don't remember anything about it. But I know that I've seen the movie because when I was working at the bank, one of my friends was mortified by the number of movies I had not seen and insisted on lending me the DVDs. So
Island of Dr. Moreau. He was in that. Yep.
that's why I've seen stuff like the original Star Wars trilogy, the Luke Skywalker ones with Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I'm bringing them in on Friday. You are watching these movies on the weekend. All right.
That's funny.
But
True Romance. That's right. He was in True Romance. Mr. Yes is getting them all. I bet you're looking at IMDb, aren't you?
Yeah.
Cheater, Demon Eater.
There were a few movies that my friend just absolutely insisted that I watch. I can't remember them, but there were a lot. He's like, okay. I'm bringing this movie in, and you're gonna watch. Like, I think
and you're
Die
going
Hard.
to like it.
Die Hard was one of the movies he made me watch.
I'm picturing the meme of the guy who's strapped down with his eyes being taped back, and he's like watching the screen.
What was that movie Clockwork Orange?
Oh yeah,
Roddy McDowell's eyes open, he couldn't not look.
Yeah. Apparently, he actually got injured by that machine holding his eyes open. That actually scratched his eyes.
I can imagine. It didn't look comfortable. Like he looked in pain.
That is a real item, though.
Yeah. I actually did like that movie, Clockwork Orange. That was pretty good.
I used to get shots in my eyes. I had a problem with a retina in the back of the eye. And they'd numb you all up, and you couldn't see anything. It was just a blur. It was like looking into a wet mirror. You just couldn't make out anything. Right. And they would numb the eye so you couldn't feel it. And then they put one of those things. They put that thing in my eye to hold it open.
Yeah.
And you put a needle in it. I wouldn't even feel it.
No.
I know I think if I watched me get the shot, I'd be more freaked out than actually getting it myself. Because you don't see anything, you don't feel anything. He just says, "Okay, you're done." And you're like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm done."
Like even thinking about it makes me want to blink.
Just the thought kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. I like anything with stuff going into eyes, just kind of yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be more freaked out watching myself.
Yeah, for
get the needle than actually getting it, because you, like I said, you don't see anything. They put you back in a chair, almost upside down. You're like really far back, even further than a dentist. And they pour so much water in your eye that the entire eye socket is just like a floating river of water. You can't see through it at all. And that solution just numbs everything. So you can't see it, you can't feel it. He says, No,
I know. Just hearing you describe it though is
yeah,
sounds horrible.
It's a very thin needle. It's not like it's
No, of course.
Like an IV needle where it's like a 30 or 28 or something like that. It's like a 9 or an 8 or something. It's very thin. It's like a same kind of needle you use to check your blood glucose. Very, very thin. Barely feel it. So
what you're saying, Terry, is if I sent you images of those ice picks that they would use for lobotomies, you're getting the same nightmares I get, because I get nightmares from those.
Well, I mean, I just wouldn't look at them. I'd be like, "Oh, okay, this is disgusting," and then I would just close the tab and like look at something else.
It's like once I realize what they're about to do, because they do. It is the odd video on YouTube where they have a demonstration of what they used to do. I can't get to that part. I know they're about to tap. I'm down in the comment section being, "No, Satan." Yeah,
no, but like if you sent me something like that, I would just like not look at it. If you sent me a video, I wouldn't play it. If you sent me an image, I'd go, that's disgusting, and then close the tab so I don't have to look at it anymore. And like, problem solved. And if you kept sending me disgusting pictures, I'd just like mute you.
I wouldn't do that.
And apparently, Kevin would like someone to sue her because she's asking for lawfare.
She wants me to talk about the other topic. He's much more organized than I am. Lawfare is the second topic. Well, it's because they don't get the show notes like we do, so they don't really know the detail what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Judge James Bredar, Bredar. He was appointed by Obama. He's a Democratic judge. blocked the probationary terminations that Trump put together. Anybody who was in the government who had a probationary job, he fired them. And the judge saying you can't do that. And he's ordering Trump to rehire everybody that he fired.
See, I don't like the idea of there being like an Obama judge or a Trump judge. Like, judges are supposed to be impartial. So the fact that, you know, prefacing the judge by who appointed them, I think kind of is a bad indicator of where society is at. Is like, oh, well, of course he did. He's an Obama judge.
Well, there is some proof to back this up because of all the lawfare that's been directed at Trump. 82% are Democrat judges.
No. I agree. What I'm saying is the fact that
they should be impartial, but they're not. Most of them are activists.
The fact that specifying, oh, this is an Obama judge explains everything. That's a problem. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't. It should be that, oh, okay, he's appointed by Obama. Fair enough. Not, oh, okay, yep, no, now I get it.
Well, the fact that these judges are doing this is not because what they're doing is legal. They're doing it just to gum things up. They know they're going to lose.
Yes, of course.
But they keep doing it to try to slow Trump down because he's going so fast. So that's the only reason they're doing it. They're activists. So
I don't think activists and judges should be the same people.
Yeah,
it
I
shouldn't
think,
be. But how do you
it
stop it?
Yeah,
with bullets.
Or losing their license.
Easy. I want to keep this channel.
But I don't know if it's possible to impeach a judge, but I'm not opposed to it.
So YouTube. What I meant is that you bribe them, you give them lots of bullets, and then they're like, okay, I will change my decision now that I've
bullets are the little dots at the beginning of sentences. That's what a bullet is.
Yes, those two.
Yes, you can impeach a judge. Yes, you can also have him removed from the bench. So it can be done, but trying to get it done is difficult, takes time, which is the whole point of all this, is to try to slow things down. What Newt Gingrich testified in court about, testified in Congress, not in court, in Congress, about how this can be solved, because it's happening enough now. Trump has had more lawfare challenges against him in a month and a half than Biden had in 4 years. It's like really bad.
Oh,
and if it stays on course the way it is now, he'll have over 1,000 by the end of his term.
I can believe it.
That's where we're leading. So it's obviously an issue and a problem that has to be resolved. So Congress got together and said, how do we do this? And Newt Gingrich testified. And he said, anytime a judge tries to take an order and make it nationwide or go against Trump, it should immediately be forwarded at that point directly to SCOTUS for an immediate ruling. So there's no chance of slowing him down. And if they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. That's how the chips fall. But there'll be no more slowing things down.
And Gunsky says, it's simple. Democrats don't believe in fairness. I think that's a human condition, not Democrats specifically. I think humans like fairness if it benefits them. And as soon as they have to be fair to someone else, they don't like it. And yes, the Democrats have been really, really bad recently, but that's because they've been able to get away with being really, really bad. I have no doubt that if conditions were reversed and Republicans had the same opportunities to be as bad as the Democrats, a lot of them would be. I think.
Yeah. See, that there's truth to that to some extent, but you have to keep in mind that Biden had 9.
No, but my point is that.
Oh.
No, my point is that the Republicans don't have the ability to get away with being as bad as the Democrats, because the Democrats still control so much of the conversation through the media and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. But if the Republicans had the same power over society that the Dems do at the moment, they would be every bit as bad as the Democrats, because they would be able to get away with it.
that's why I hope they can go any route that would lead to some impeachments. Like, I get you're not going to
Mhm.
get everybody, but
No.
I would actually like to set a precedent, because a lot of these judges are also the reason why there's a lot of problems in the justice system in the first place. Because I think a lot of these kind of assholes who are activists are the same kind of people who just release people on the streets when they're like, oh, well, I favor this person because of blah blah blah.
Hmm.
A lot of them aren't fair to themselves. Like, if you caught them in a video cam with a cop, they're the biggest fucking assholes. They don't believe in their own fucking rules.
No,
And
of course not.
and then on top of that, when it comes down to like actual justice that people need on the like for living with each other, they don't meet what we need. This a lot of cities in North America, not just in the US, like I mean that as a general term, are shitholes now because we have judges that just release bad people onto the streets.
Yep.
And it's a repeat offense over and over again, and it's abusive to the general population. And yes, people are resentful. We can't just get a Batman to go around kicking other people's asses. We can't do that. So we need to put people away when they're doing actually bad things. And that's in everybody's community, not just white people, black people, brown people. Everybody has bad people.
So what you're saying is lock up the brown people. I agree. I've been saying it for a long time, but I'm glad someone else is on board.
Saw a tweet to that effect. Somebody had, on the left, I don't remember if it was Krasnstein or who, had sent a tweet saying that the Scandinavian countries have free health care, free college, and it listed all these things. I mean, we should be like them. And somebody replied back, "You mean all white?"
Yeah. But they don't have free anything. I mean, their taxes are through the roof to pay for all that quote unquote free stuff.
Yeah, they got 60% tax. That's twice what our highest tax rate is.
Exactly.
For 38% for the highest tax rate, and they're at 60. I don't know how you can live with that. Half of your paycheck, more than half of your paycheck.
More than, yeah.
That's crazy.
More goes to the government than to you for the work that you did.
Right.
They also tend to live in infrastructure that's old. Like, it's not to say that they don't update and upkeep. Everybody does that. But I kind of prefer what we have because we started from scratch. Our buildings are kind of better for bigger cities. Theirs take a lot. They can't really expand. They're kind of set in stone.
Literally. Their houses are made out of stone. Their highways are made out of cobblestone and brick and stuff like that. They're not, you can't have a big car. Over here, all the cars are huge. You can't have a Cybertruck over in England somewhere.
Well,
They'll never be able to get anywhere.
Well, from what I heard, the reason that the cars are so big is because of environmental regulations. Because bigger trucks have to meet a different standard than regular sized ones. And so because it's extremely expensive to make a regular sized truck that actually complies with all the government environmental regulations, they make big ones that have to meet a lower standard. And there you go. That's the only way they can make a decent profit anymore.
It's just like the opposite of what you want. Let's make the green by making these huge trucks so that they get past the regulations.
I think that all of these things do not actually care about what they claim to care about.
No.
The point is not to save the environment. The point is to fabricate a bunch of bullshit jobs for their friends to get government money for free.
It's a way to tax the stupid poor for more money.
Yeah.
And get us all pissed off because we're like, no, we can't afford your bullshit.
Yeah.
Stop building your dumb castles, you fucking assholes. And then what they're going to do is they're going to lower their taxes so we think we've got something back. And then I'm not impressed with ours. I hope ours gets arrested at some point, pointing at my prime minister.
the purpose of the bureaucracy is not to help anything; it's to create jobs for bureaucrats. That's the reason. There's a quote. There's something like, "The bureaucracy will expand to meet the needs of the expanding bureaucracy."
All right. It is past closing time. You guys have anything else you want to?
It goes so quick when there's the conversation that you get like really invested in.
Yeah. Once you get onto AI, all is lost.
They were good. They were good topics.
Yeah.
Both of them. Tom Petty made the cut for tonight. So
He did. I was not surprised when I saw the options. I was like, Tom Petty's probably going to win, but
yeah.
I didn't want to poison the well, as you say.
Did you? The way I chose those 4 songs, this is very interesting. You guys will be all riveted on the edge of your sheet. Is I sorted by date.
Okay.
I took the ones that I had put in the directory soonest or the furthest in time back, and just took the top 4.
I do like that only 2 songs got voted on. Like the other 2 songs got 0 votes each.
Yeah. And it was like tied the entire time until like the very end. So
yeah,
that's pretty funny.
It is.
All right. Jen, you have anything? We'll get out of here.
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Thanks, fam, as always, for chatting with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday's show, remember the Minions are live every evening except Tuesday, with most shows starting around 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 6 days a week. Host and start times are linked in the description down below. Don't forget about the Rumble pre-show. That's where all the good stuff happens. That show starts really about 8:30, sometimes earlier. I think we should just wait for wherever Keywordam comes, and then we'll start. Sounds like a good plan. We'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.